Welcome back to another session with Paintology. And as you know, the Paintology is a free drawing app that you can download from the Google Play Store. It's available right for all Android users, but not for Apple just yet. And the link you can find in the description, or you could just simply go to Play Store and type in Paintology and look for the drawing icon shown on the bottom. Yeah. So what are we going to do today? Well, if you've been following my previous live sessions, you will know that I have been using my fingers a lot. And so this is the way I draw, and this is the live session. This is the phone that I use, my Samsung Note 10 phone, which is not a substantial phone. I would say it's about average, just over a 6-inch screen. And I use my fingers, although it does come with a stylus. And having done quite a number of finger drawings and paintings with Paintology, I decided to do more because it actually, to be honest with you, it actually feels very comfortable using my finger. But a stylus, if I wanted to really get into the details and focus on making a photorealistic drawing. So let's head back to Paintology. And what am I going to show you today? Well, I want to first let you know that this Paintology is a different kind of a drawing app, and it's a drawing app has a completely new angle to all the other drawing apps. It's been designed to improve your drawing skills and make drawing a pleasurable experience. Because I enjoy drawing and I want to translate that drawing experience to you guys. I'm not an artist. I wasn't born an artist, or I wasn't given. I did. I didn't do art all my life. I've just learned from doing it, enjoying it, and this experience of it. And it remained dormant actually for 30 years. And so I've decided, so 30 years, and after that I picked up paint by numbers just by accident. It was given to me as a gift, I think, and then I painted on it, and then all of a sudden I got the itch, the bug to carry on and do more. So I did a lot of traditional acrylic painting, graphite, charcoal, and then I moved on to digital here, and I simply love digital. So if I go back to the home page, I'm going to show you some of the drawings I've done lately. So this is the home page. So this is the one I did very like yesterday. Took me about 35 minutes to do that, and I just wanted to create that effect. Obviously, I used a reference image for that, but then lately, as from the advice of my young daughter, who told me, "Why don't you do something unique and create something like she obviously thinks very like a fairy tale-ish type. She's 9 years old, so she believes in magical powers." And so she told me when I showed her this, said, "I took some of your advice and I painted this. What do you think?" She goes, "Oh wow!" And then she was astounded, and she goes, "Oh, I can see the leaves moving." So I actually thought the sea was the biggest selling point on this art, because I was adding the waves, the twinkling of the lights, and I also added the crevice around the sun that's settling at the back. So that's one. And then here is similar to what we're going to do today. This was on the phone again, using fingers, and in a previous session with drawing painterly. So what does painterly mean? Painterly means that you want to do something that looks as though it's done manually and has a paint-like effect. So this is another one. I did the cat. You can see this cat again using a reference, but using a brush and then showing the brush strokes, following the line of it again, and that's another live session that you can follow along too. So there's a plenty I've done. In fact, I've got so many here. I don't know, this is the one where I was trying to do, not to try and make it really blunt, not try and make it photorealistic, again with the fingers, but you can see here the details you can get by zooming in. I wasn't making it for, again, it was another journey of mine. It has to be a journey. I've answered a few questions lately from Quora where artists are having a hard time on the sideline thinking, oh God, do you need talent? Do you need skills? Do you need all that? And I just simply say, why don't you just start? Stop thinking about, I mean, not so harshly, but don't think about the consequence of what to expect. That's the fear of most people, is that they have a certain expectations which will either get them on the path or get them on the path of no resistance, which means pretty much doing nothing and then just brushing it aside and thinking it's down to talent and all that. And I'm a proof of that. And it's not down to talent. It's just a question of loving it, enjoying it, and practicing and doing and producing the results that you enjoy and seeing your progress as well. So this is one of the reasons why I've developed Paintology, is to make that journey accessible to everyone. And now that they have the phone, why not be creative instead of on the social media chit chatting? Take some time out and then do something creative. You'll be amazed that the reason why many people want to go into drawing is that they have seen other artists are lost in their drawing journey when they start from a blank canvas and all the way to the end, and they create the artwork and they want to be in that moment of time. I think it's more like they don't want to really just be skilled in drawing. They want to enjoy everything that comes with the drawing and painting. I would tell you that the momentary enjoyment of having finished the drawing is very fleeting compared to, let's say, the actual immersion. Immersion meaning the immersive journey through zero to the finished thing. That is therapy, as some people would put it, and it really quietens your brain, quietens you down, and it just lifts you up. I enjoy these morning sessions that I do every day. I look forward to, actually. So I hope you can follow along to me and show you that it's so easy to draw, and don't go with baggage and drawing. Don't take other people's advice. You are unique, you are different, and the idea is to bring that out of you, of yourself, through yourself. If you're going to be dictated by others, what they tell you, you're living through the eyes of other people, isn't it? Essentially. So yeah, this is a great way to be creative, and we know creativity is a wonderful thing, and it keeps your mind active, engaged, alive. And I can see that in my daughter as well. So it's lovely to see that keenness, creativity, and that enjoyment. And then sadly, many of us lose that when we get into the working life. But it doesn't have to be that way. Now that you have a phone, you can pick that hobby that you've always missed doing in your early life. So you don't have to. So there's another thing I want to tell you. You don't have to use pencil and paper. You got the phone, and don't think the size of the phone is a hindrance to drawing. It's just not. And you saw my drawings earlier. That's done on the phone. And the reason why I can draw in such detail is because I'm always zooming, rotating, putting the drawing in a comfortable position, which you will see. And so I'm going to show you the drawing that I just, the session, what I'm going to do, we've got a drawing session that I'm going to show you here. This one, we picked this one earlier, so we're going to do that. So painterly means we're going to stick to a minimum set of tools, just like traditional people, and we won't bother with blending, layering. Okay, if you want to do anime, fine. If you want to do illustrations, graphics. By the way, I do use Adobe. I'm a very competent, accomplished user, power user of Adobe, but I never use it for drawing. Drawing to me should be at some of the components of traditional, that is, enjoying using the minimum set of tools and let your fingers, a brush, a pencil do the work. Yeah, so this is block coloring we're going to use. So block coloring, as you know, if you don't know, please go to the link and check out the links to the block coloring. It will teach you how to do block coloring. But I'm going to give you a quick guide in block color. So we have this trace here, reference image. Excuse me, is loaded on the in the underlying image. This is our canvas on the left. Right, we're going to pick a color. Let's take it all the way to the top. Let's pick a red color. Yeah, that's our canvas, and that's our reference image. Okay, very easy, nothing complicated. In fact, by the way, in this drawing exercise, you don't need any drawing experience. Anyone can do it, and that's what would encourage a lot of people to draw. If you don't, instead of being wowed by other artists' work, yeah, why don't you wow yourself, yeah, with your artwork? So this is the first top half is there's a reason for having this midpoint. Top half is where the color picker picks out the colors of the reference image. Look, see it's gone black on the bottom right. Again, let's pick a color. Look, it's gone right. Now if we have the color in the lower bottom, it's just simply going to pick white anywhere you go, yeah? Because that's picking the colors from your drawing. So I tend to use block coloring in the first stage, the initial drawing stage, by keeping it just above the midway point so I can access the colors on the underlying image. So first of all, so what am I going to do? I'm going to look at this image. Always look at your drawing. The problem with beginners is that they don't fully appreciate the drawing process because, they see a drawing go from zero to suddenly a work of art that blows you away, and you're thinking, oh God, how the hell? And then you think, now your goal is to do the same. You're beginning to think, I got to go from there to there. Wrong. You don't go from there to there. I'll give you a I'll give you sort of an analogy. Let's say you want to do 100 meters in 10 seconds. You do it in 14 seconds. You think you're gonna keep drilling yourself and do the same thing, just run and run and run and run and run, right? And then hopefully you'll get to the 10 seconds. No, it doesn't work like that. If you look at a fitness regime of a athlete, you think that all they do is the actual thing, like long jump, high jump, running, is only a small part of their entire practice session. They will do rigorous sessions on the jogging machine, weight training, fit appetite, uh, health eating, mental stability, you name it. There's a whole area. And this the same applies to drawing. You think, if you honestly think that somehow you're going to force yourself to go from zero to B and somehow magically it's going to transpire, then I'm afraid you're not keeping your mind open. These are tools here, any tools here necessary that will take you in that direction faster, quicker, is what you want to do and what you should be looking for. Take the example of some of the great artists, right? You see, you only become emboldened with their final art pieces of Van Gogh, Cézanne, Monet, you name it. Uh, you've got their final art pieces that are flashed in front of you, and you have no idea of what got them to that stage in the first place. And to get to that stage in the first, believe me, they used every tool, everything under their disposal to increase their technique skills and the development of art skills. And this block coloring is simply a way of developing these art skills. If you go to this is why Paintology is unique. It teaches you the essence of. I'm not here to show you. You've seen my artwork. I've done freestyle artwork as well. I'm not confined to using the trace bar, and I show this simply because I don't want to show off my artwork. I simply want others to learn from me and enjoy the benefits of painting and drawing. So we're just going to go straight ahead. Enough talking, and we'll go straight ahead. Now I've shown you how. So I'm going to select a brush. Doesn't matter, any brush will do. For the cat, I picked a flower, and it worked quite nicely because it left a nice little streak for the furs and the cat. So you might have seen, and I showed you earlier. So we're going to first create the background. So I showed you, I looked at the image for, right, and I can show that normally in any artwork you've seen, even in traditional, you'll notice that they build it up slowly. The same applies to Paintology. We're going to build this up in a painterly fashion and increase the sort of the illusion that we've done a masterfully created a painting from nothing, yeah. That, but it still looks like a painting, and that is the same method as we used in traditional. If you think digital is all about creating digital art, you should think again, because digital art can be done in this manner, and I've been doing it for a few years now, and you may not have heard of it, but it does get you into drawing because you don't need all the tools to, blending layers. And people go on about layers, and the people who go on about layers, they're the ones who wants to do illustrations, anime. They're not doing fine art as we are trying to do here. Yeah, fine art is the artistic style of traditional medium. So we first look at this one, and I can see that I need to create a background. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select the brush size. I usually keep it at 70%, and then I'm going to select the brush size 20%, the density, hardness. You don't have to know anything about that. And the reason why if you think that, oh, I have to know what I'm doing or what I have to know, then it gets a little bit more, how do you call it, too drilling, structured, and you're not. And I have to tell you, when you paint in raw, keep your mind open. Just experiment. Don't expect answers to fall in your fingertips. It simply won't. You won't do it. You just keep going, and the journey builds up your body of knowledge. continuously builds up. Let that be your guide, not the fact that I need to attain this knowledge, I need to have that. Don't go by that approach. It's not enjoyable. Enjoyable is when you do something, you experiment, and you say, okay, I've got the feel for this now. Okay, and if I change this here, what does it do? Okay, I think I know what it does. And this all applies to the, this will apply specific to the drawing style you're doing, and every drawing style is different. So this is what I want to tell you, is that you may think that I know exactly what to do, and I don't. I always use a different approach. I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do here that I haven't done before? So it opens up a door to, for me to appreciate what these tools can do. So I don't go from one tool to another. I will beat the hell out of the brush, like Bob Ross would say. I would beat the hell out of this particular brush until I fully understand its properties. Yeah, and I still don't. Even I've drawn my hundreds of drawings, and I can tell you I've improved in leaps and bounds because I have an intimate knowledge of some of these tools more so than others. That's through the drawing and through experimentation. So I don't have any particular way to go about a drawing. I don't have a specific way I apply it to the image that I'm going to draw, or the reference image. So here I've decided that I'm going to first create the background, and you can see that nice hazy green there. What makes this picture so wonderful to look at? Well, you've got, as you know, you probably understand the basics of painting. If you go look at the far distance here, the colors are muted. If you come here, look, they're very sharp. It gives a sense of depth, right? The muted colors, the less harsh colors, the subdued colors compared to the harsh colors. So keep that in mind. And then obviously the tree line, the breadth width of the bark of the tree is bigger at the front, and it diminishes to the back. And then the sense of depth is even achieved more by this this path. See how this path is strong in the foreground, and then it fades away to lovely washed out sunlight drenched background. Yeah, so we have this. So but let's lay down the first foundation, and you're going to start understanding the drawing process, which is missing in many of the YouTubers. You go to the YouTubers, you get inspired, you try and draw, and you fail, and that's it. You give it up, and then you blame it on lack of talent. You don't understand the whole process. So I'm going to show you the whole process. And people do, artists in traditional, but I feel it's so much easier to show it to you in digital, because you can install this app yourself and follow along to me, right? And then you don't have to go to this tutorial. You can load your own images that you like, just like I did. You see how I loaded this image? And and I'm going to work on this image and use this as a reference. So we got the green at the back. So here's the green, and let's see if we've got the green. So I'm gonna first start filling out the green. So we got the percentage right. Have we got the size right? In my opinion, the size is okay. So we're gonna stick to the size, 22%, and then let's pick that lovely green at the back. Okay, and then let's go out, zoom out, and then just wherever you see the green, yeah, just use your fingers and lay down the background color. Right, this is a different method I'm using, and always pick out the colors. All right, then we got this background color, the white. Well, it's not quite white, but or what you could do is, because much of the tree branches are yellow, so we can pick out the yellow and then see if we've got the right color. I'm thinking a little bit lighter, so there I'm just putting the, and then what color have we got here? We still got that green working, so let's continue to pick that green and make it a little bit sharper, because it's coming towards us, isn't it? This mid value here. So let's do that. That's a different approach I'm used to. I'm trying something different, and I can't tell you what exactly I'm doing unless I go into details, right? So just bear in mind that this is a new technique for me, and I'm not too bothered in the first pass. You know, a beginner will think, "Oh God, this is not working," and they've already determined that their drawing is pretty bad, and they're quick to dismiss it. So don't be in that position, because the first drawing pass you're going to see, and you'll be wondering, that's pretty lame. And that's what people judge. People who can't draw judge it on the basis of that, which is sad. Okay, so can put that tree line there as well while I'm at it. And then you can see I'm continuously selecting the color picker. Let's pick this red color. So I'm just trying out the broad brush strokes, the broad colors. I'm just laying down the colors. Right. This is a technique used in painting. So we're using exactly the same, nothing different. Notice I follow the grounds horizontal. My art always seems to do that. It seems to be a natural inclination for me to do that. I don't go like this, but the tree branches I would. Yeah, just a natural thing to do, but it doesn't mean it's exactly the right way to do it, is it? Okay, so let's fill the whole colored region. Which colors should we have the background of that? Should we just do some of that green that's showing up? Pick up that green tree lines, yeah? Or not, right? And then leave some of that. Okay, and then what have we got? There, we got that. There. Let's see what we have here. Perfect. And then go here. Remember, we got very thick brush. So that's what they talk about Painterly, is having a very thick brush. Right, so we've done this. We've got light on the top right, this big tree, and we now want to, this would be, let's say, our first Painterly pass. Would you be able to recognize this painting? Probably not. You'd probably think, maybe it's sort of getting there. That's a measure of the drawing process. It's where you're getting there. If you're going to give up at this stage and you think, God, and then I'm not getting any details, or I don't know how to get the details, and you give up at this stage, I'm not even 5% of the way to my drawing. It's the first step. So now let's go ahead and select a smaller brush size. Let's go for 10% and see if we can fill in the smaller details. Okay, and then keep using the color picker. Okay, there, look at that. Yes, lovely. Keep using the color picker to pick out these. Okay. Then let's draw this tree lines, yeah? Just follow this. I'm just tracing those three. I'm not worried about the branches crisscrossing. I'm using a painterly way of drawing. This is typically what an artist would do with any kind of artwork. If you've seen all the good artists, this is the way they draw and paint. They slowly build and build on it. And and if you think digital art is not the same thing, you'll be wrong. You try it with Paintology and you'll see for yourself that they're not much skill. You've seen some of my drawings I've already shown you. Try to do that with digital. I mean, it obviously done with digital, but what I'm saying is try and do it with digital tools that most people are used to. It just doesn't work. You're not going to produce something like that. So let's put that down right to look at that. It's hidden behind those bushes. Yeah. So let's see what that looks like now. Now it's beginning to take shape, right? You can see this painterly step with the trees is now it's sort of saying, yeah, I can see a sort of a path forming and tree lines at the back. So let's continue with this 10% brush and keep zooming in and defining these strokes, yeah? No big deal. Just like you would use it with a pen. Look at that. Look at that lovely green. You know, you've got to be in love with these nature. I just love nature and the beautiful colors. That's the why many artists of the past, what have they done? They have used I mean, landscapes was their main primary subject. I mean, Van Gogh primarily drew in that subject, isn't it? And Cézanne was one of the greatest artists of his time, loved landscapes. He was in love with it. And he painted some of the most significant paintings. And look at Monet. He was in love with landscapes too. Turner, Constable, all of them that we all appreciate. I wonder what happened to this can. Well, we've got David Hockney, who is a brilliant artist, and I love his portraiture drawings. So again, let's go here. Look what I'm doing, picking up the colors, and really, what am I doing now? I'm just keep confining the tones. I'm just picking out these lovely tones that varying. And remember, tones is the key to drawing, to making good drawings, okay? Keep that. I'm not worried about what exact tones I'm picking out. I'm just giving the resemblance of tones, and this is so important to painterly techniques. So I'm just taking the opportunity to fill in these gaps. And then you'll see for yourself what a little bit of effort makes a difference. Let me save this. So don't forget to save, just in case you lose the picture or you want to go back in case you have a power outage or something. So look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. This is the part of the drawing experience that you want to enjoy and feel. Look at that. Lovely. Use your line. And what happens when you do this? Your drawing improves, your strokes improve, your motor functions improve each time you draw. And then I'm not too worried about getting it right. Most of the beginners think that they have to get it right first time. And that's the mistake that unfortunately they make a mistake on. And this, look at that. We're going to do a painterly. Look what I'm doing. I know these colors tones are changing, and the fact that my finger, the color picker, is picking out different tones is adding value to this. And most artists will show you this in their traditional, but very rarely will they show you in practice, like with digital, like I'm doing here, which you can see for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. You do it yourself, and you will appreciate it a lot more. Even if you don't want to get into art, but you want to appreciate the complexity and the beauty of art, this is one way to do it. And then here, the white, see that? Because I know what's happening with there. Don't forget in between the tree lines. And then I'm going to show you what's come about by doing this. Now, can you see that there's green on the other side? So we see what the painterly, look at that, a little bit of more form. Now it's getting to somewhat saying, yes, of course, it's getting there. Just like the cat I did at the first pass, you'll say, yeah, it's acceptable. Second pass, getting there. Third, wow, yeah, okay, I'm seeing it now. Fourth, wow. And then fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, you're going to say, you're going to be like blown away. Wow, how did I manage to do that? So let's just complete, just for the sake of it, add the details, the colors, the beautiful colors, that vibrant colors, keeping to that brush, don't worry about it, right? Though we can add the tiny details when the time comes, but not right now. We're just laying down the foundation. Now, this are the tones. I'm just focusing on the variation of the tones. See, I can see a yellow there and another yellow there, right? So we need to take your color picker and then take some of that green, just the yellow, and then just carry it on up there and just go through quickly. Okay, let's see where we are. Oh yes, lovely, isn't it? So now now you can see that's beginning to take a bit of shape. Now keep looking at the drawing and see if you've got a lot of it down, the main border and all these colors, right? And now what we can do is we can get, you've guessed it, take it down 5%. Now we can start refining. I found this to work well with the cat. And so I'm thinking, why don't I apply this to the painterly? So you see, I'm learning as well. You may think I'm not, but truly I'm learning. So now you've seen, if let me show you, you've seen how the tree trunks are a little bit wobbly. We're gonna, because of the smaller size, and we're gonna get close to the detail, we can actually refine it, okay? And this, if you keep practicing this, it'll give you the confidence. And then I keep moving, picking out different tones, and it automatically adds the tones, you see, to that tree trunk. Look, I'm going to pick that. Look how it adds. And then I'm going to pick another one. Look, see, it's adding a different tone, exactly what I want. And then now I can correct this. Okay. So just, you'll see that, and I've got that tree line, this big tree trunk, which is at the forefront. It's got to be straight and sharp and wonderfully arranged. It's got to be like stable, like a solid, like it survives in that. It's made for that wood. Without this tree, it would be the 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 whole scene would look unstable, isn't it? This solid tree. So we're going to work on that, getting and then moving to my canvas. You see how I move to my canvas? And then because I've got the smaller brush, I can add more details as I'm going along and color picking, using the color picker and automatically creating a painterly effect based on what these colors and tones are. Really, the essence of painting is tones. It's all about tones. You don't necessarily have to be a perfectionist artist. Look what we have here. Because with the smaller details, we're laying down more tones, right? More detailed tones, giving the illusion of the painterly effect I've been telling you about. So let's see what that tree looks like. Wow, can you see how that tree is lovely on that left side? Now I'm going to work on this right side. Remember, you want that solid solidity that's showing, because that's what the tree is. This represents solid. It's like a solid piece of tree that is born, that was lived there for hundreds of years, perhaps, yeah? And you want to show that it's not going anywhere. Because, there was a fascination with trees with Bob Ross, and there's a good reason for that, isn't it? Now you can see that, let's add that green, and then we can add that orange. See the orange here? Just keep adding that. So we're just gonna get this tree, pick out the different colors, you automatically add the tones, right? See that we've just encroached on the part, so we pick out the colors, and then beautiful drawing like this, and go there. But you may be thinking, how am I doing this? It's very easy. Look, uh, I'm just basing it on my reference and the other reference. So that's the tree. See that solid tree? Beautiful, isn't it? So now I have decided, what can I do now? Can I go to the next? Can I go to the next step of this drawing now that I've reached here? And what is the next step? You probably ask yourself. Well, so I think what we can do is we can do that other tree. Look at that Beautiful tree there. We'll go for it. So color picker, simply color picker, and simply work at it. All right. So, look at that beautiful colors, so vibrant. Look at that, looking seeping through the leaves. Right, so we just straighten this out, moving back and forth. Giving it more shape, more solidity, right? So you've got the solid there, giving it more shape now. So now the next thing is, okay, what do we need to do? Well, I'm gonna actually, let's see if we've got the right brush size. Let's see if we've got the brush size. Oops, sorry, I picked the wrong color. I think we've still got the right brush size, isn't it? So let's just clear these trees. Right, just make these trees beautiful the way they were meant to be, right? Let's keep adding that. And you can do it two ways. You can either go here and see some of the areas that need addressing here, like for example, and just go over it. Just go over it quickly. Don't spend too much time. This requires a little bit of dark color, as you can see, and I wasn't able to get that initially. And then they will stand out more proud. Okay, look at that. This is the color. See that? Because now we got, remember, we got a smaller brush size and we're working in a smaller region. The color picker, and then just do the trees that you can see. So don't go too far out with the same color, it will look a bit unnatural. But let's see the trees, they're coming out nicely. Yeah, let's do that one here. Let's do that tree. Don't worry about the branches. Actually, I was put off by some of these branches, but we want to get this tree, these solid trees first. Remember, this is just an approach that I'm using. You may have a different approach. Okay, since I'm getting closer, I can get really fine with my strokes, more straighter, because I used a larger brush stroke, didn't I? And look at that, let's fill that in, that looks lovely. High contrast, anything high contrast is what the eyes are drawn to. Okay, so let's see where we are. It's great, isn't it? So we've got a set of trees, and now what I'm thinking is, what's the next step? Now you can see from where we started that it's just getting better and better, and you don't need what some people say, oh, you don't need layers and all that to make fine art like this. Okay, so I'm gonna just tidy up some areas with some of the paint, and look, I can take some of that darkness and just dabble in this, and then the lightness here that's coming from here. Push that. Right. Beginning to add the flowers, the tree leaves, the bold, the different colors, you know. Let's see what it looks like. So just focusing on those vibrant colors. I'm going to focus on the left side, which I'm doing right now, and you'll see that as I'm doing this, what difference is it making to the final drawing, to the final painting. I'm picking out tones, the dark tones, the light tones. I don't care exactly what tones I'm using. Remember, this is just a practice session to learn about tones and painterly ways of drawing, okay, painting. So here, and then I can go here even. Now let's see what that looks like. See that we've added texture right away, isn't it? We can carry on lifting that texture with the same brush size we have and just keep working on it, looking at the tones. This is what helps you to really, truly appreciate tones, yeah? Because then your sense of tones, your acute sense of tones increase by focusing on these details. Let's just go there. And then what I tend to do is towards the end, I go freehand and just fill the details. This is what I did with the previous drawing, and which we can do the same here. But right now I'm picking out these little lovely tones that make up, that adds to the details. These green tones. This is what makes this image so, how do you call it, so likable, isn't it? Using my fingers, dab, dab, dab. You don't need stylus or anything really. There you are. Just fill that in, and that. Just fill that in. And look at these leaves. We want to capture these gold. So let's take a look and see what it's beginning to shape up as. Yeah. Yeah. Now you can see that the tree line here at the front is now distinct, has some features, and we're going to carry that all the way to the back. So I'm just going to carry on doing this, okay? And you do the same as well with the, then you get real good appreciation of what's going on here. If you're a traditional artist, believe me, you're going to find this an excellent way of improving your drawing skills. And if you think digital is about tools and a different way of painting and drawing, then obviously, hopefully this will have changed your mind. Paintology, right? So let's go really quickly, rapidly through that, picking out these tones. Right, I'm not too concerned with my drawing. I'm still lifting, creating the final form that I would want to work in freehand. I don't know about you, but I like to make many drawings. I don't like to stay fixated on one particular drawing. So, Okay, let's see what we're... Oh yeah, so much better, isn't it? So we do the same thing for this here. Don't worry about these branches. The reason they stick out like this is because we haven't added the important areas of this, you know, these background section, that and the twigs and the tree leaves and all that. Once we've added that, everything will change, because these trees look barren, like there's no life, just been born or something, right? But we're going to add depth to this. It's a completely different approach to another, let's say, another drawing of a landscape I would use. It's just the way I feel comfortable, and I wanted to show you this. So it's not something unique or something I've done before. It's just something I want to try and see if that works, right? Okay, so here the green, lots of green. Look at this one. Let's do up this beautiful bush that has taken a center stage almost in this, right? Dab, 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 dab. Color picker. Just pick the colors. Then we can go on the ground here. Dab, 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 dab. Dab, dab. Let's quickly, rapidly go around. All right, so here, if you look at it now, you can see it's really taking on some shape, isn't it? It's an improvement, right, from before. So now let's finish that. I feel that this part needs to be finished. And to do that, I'm going to do something right now, which is take that to 3%, okay? And now let's work with that 3%, yeah? And then fill in these small, and then you'll see that it has a different effect as I'm doing this. It has this very smaller, localized, smaller brush size, yeah? Taking advantage of the smaller brush size, and then hence the detail. So therefore I have to be really more localized and zoom in more so than I would with a bigger brush size. This is what artists do. They work with they get to the details after they've laid down the foundation. You've probably seen this painter Michael James. It's the same method exactly, and everyone seems to be amazed by the level of details he achieves. You know, it's all down to understanding these tonal change. Nothing magical about it. But we're going to do that tree. Follow that. So you follow the same tones right here. And then you see that darker tone here. Just follow I always have a tendency to follow the direction of the tree or the grass, the cat's fur. That's what gives the illusion of form. Okay, let's see where we are on that. Look at the details of the background has shown up now, isn't it? Right? And now you can keep continuing to work on this. Let's see that bit here. We're seeing a white region here. Let's fill this in. Yeah, that's this. Just pick the colors. It doesn't have to be the exact colors, but keep it very localized and tight. And then pick the color picker again, and then again and again. Pick the color picker. That's the reason. That's what's called block coloring. Right. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Better, isn't it? An improvement. So now you can see the more you get to it, the more details you can see. Like the white has become more prominent now. Since we've covered most of the canvas, the white is becoming more prominent here. Can you see these little gaps of white? They really stand out. And can you see this area here? That's like standing out. So it gives you the next stage of doing the colors. Look, I saw the white here, so I'm going to just fill it in and then make sure that I've done that. There's another bits of white there. Oops, I'm just sorry, I'm just going to take a quick few seconds. I'm back. Hope you're able to catch up on this drawing that we're doing, this lovely drawing. So let's fill in these white areas, and you can do it two ways. You can, these little white areas, it's a different color, right? So we can just fill it in and then refine this, the edge of the of the tree trunk if there is any, yeah. I just pick up the colors of the background. Let's see where we are. Yes, can you see those whites have gone now? And then here, the same thing here. We don't want any white peeping through, do we? And then here, just fill that in for now. And then you can ask yourself, well, what are we going to do next? It's looking really nice, isn't it? Now you can see there's another white patch here that we haven't touched. Okay. Just pick up the color tones that's within that region. It'll give the sense of illusion, eh? Okay, giving that sense of illusion. You can see some depth created, much different from what it was when we started, right? So you're not gonna make decisions so early and say this is done. This is what really carries you, isn't it? This is what's going to carry you into your drawing to the stage you want. So it's already becoming a really painterly type painting, but we can carry on because your style, as you can see, is produced by your drawing strokes. So now I can see that I need to address this here. Just add a little bit of detail. Don't spend too much time. Stick to the same brush. See these tones that are appearing. Just pick them up. Don't have to do anything crazy. This really trains us. Honestly, it trains you in your faculty for understanding tones. That's beautiful. Whenever you see a different tone, just pick up the color picker. Just go for it. No drawing experience required. Using my fingers, really working into these tones that are appearing. Look at that green. We're going to pick that green up. Right, and then we haven't got a tree line here, so we're going to merge that. Painterly way of drawing. Follow the pick up the tones. That's all we're doing, picking up tones. No drawing experience required. Just picking up the tones that we're seeing. Really increase our knowledge of tones that make up a painting or a drawing. It's adding texture as well by doing this. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, now you can really see that path forming. So let's focus on that and just continuously build that up here. So I'm just basing most of it on the reference image. If you've seen my previous drawings, I sort of move away from it and then I just focus on my canvas. But we're going to do that towards the end, but I feel I can still pick up beautiful tones that I would not typically do on my canvas, and then really work it. Okay. Let's see where we are on this. Very nice, isn't it? And in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase that. Because we're working on the foreground, I want to increase the opacity of it, which means more of a harsher tone. But that's just, to be honest with you, that's just something that I'm sort of using the basic knowledge. I'm not really doing anything extraordinary. And you could stick with the brush settings you had before, no biggie, right? But I'm just thinking, well, it might make a difference because there's obviously a lot of the foreground, a lot of harsh tones. Just follow the line. It's the red color, look at that, beautiful. Right, and then let's take that as a tree line actually. So that is because there's a tree, that's why it looks. Wow. Now you can see it's really working. Let's get that. Wow, beautiful. It's just like the illusion of shrubs on the ground. It's a crisscross, nothing extraordinary. Crisscross. Let's see what we have here. Oh, it looks like there is something going on here. And now you can tell we have to work this, yeah? So again, let's take it down a bit. Okay. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. So, okay, just take these colors and just whatever colors you pick up, the yellow, white, right, no big deal. Right, the yellows, the green, they just will add to the whole. That texture of that bush. And we could add these small twigs that, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm thinking ahead now. I'm thinking that I'm going to use a smaller line brush to do these twigs. You get a really feel for the tones, yeah? Even. Let's see what we look like. Better, isn't it? So now that we've got that brush, it seems like we need to carry it on. If we don't, then it will look a little odd. So this is where we can get really, depending on how much time you want to spend. I could really spend a lot of time if I wanted to, but you know what? Now I'm slowly moving towards my canvas because I want to get this done. I'm sure you've got a lot of things to do, right? So just using my eyes to do the final pieces of art. So you're just using that and using the colors, right? Very similar to what I've been doing before. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So yeah, see that? See how you form that, right? That is now it's up to you. You look at that and then you say, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick a color. Yeah, pick the colors and then just give that form of texture. What's happening on there? Yeah, you can say, well, let's got that green bit. So pick out any colors that you have on your palette and just take it. All right, just pick up the green up there and that green, lovely green. And down here, again, pick that lovely olive and just give the illusion that, right, just give that yellow, go to your canvas and give the illusion that there is something, but not exact detail, right? Okay, so this, see how easy it is to miss areas that you haven't tackled. Okay, so let's see. So really working it really quickly. And so here, that needs to be addressed, right? It's got too much. So use your color palette to your advantage. The color palette here that you can see here. And then if you haven't got the color that you want, just pick it out there. Just pick it out there. Get that illusion that there's a little bit of green. Right? Then mix it up with here. A little bit of, and then I think I'll take that down because it's right at the back, so it's got to be a little diffused. So again, you can see the colors that are appearing. Just pick them up. Right here. This one is a part of the tree. Okay. That's part of the tree. It's a very bold tree, isn't it? Carry that color and merge it. Now see that one? That's also a little, it's got to be solid, isn't it? Oops. Oops. It's solid, isn't it? Do you see how easy it is that we can easily ignore these? That's the detail of the drawing, I tell you. That is the That is what an actual image consists of: thousands of tones, hundreds, thousands of tones. And then what would we have to do as an artist? Basically, okay, just basically try and render something close with the minimum set of tones, right? That's what we're doing. That's all we're doing. Okay, let's see what that looks like. It's an improvement. Look how far we've come. And that, you can tell that is too harsh, isn't it? So take that out. And then now let's see these, right? These leaves that add to the effect. Just add these leaves, giving a dimensional effect. It's tiny. Well, I'm still got the same color, right? Just adding it. Right, it's a lovely orange, giving the illusion of texture, form. And then pick another color if you have to, deep red maybe. So this color maybe, right? See, there's a lot there. Can you see it? There. The twigs. We can add the twigs later, but now just moving back and forth, giving that textured texture that, look at that leaves there, right? So we can use the colors we used. Right. Okay, beautiful. And then we can use the orange. So you see I'm mainly now moving to my drawing canvas and trying to render things quickly. Otherwise we'll be spending all day turning this into a photographic, and I don't want to do that. Let's get that color there. Okay. Then pick another color. Right. Then pick another color. Give some vibrancy to it. And look at that. We have to do quite a bit on that. Pick another. Pick a light color. Let's see what it looks like. Better, isn't it? So what we have here is, we have this, looks like a bit of a globule, isn't it? So we need to keep changing the tones on that. Just add the tones. Make it feel like that there are small leaves and not just a big fern tree or something. Give the illusion, the form, and add the different. Right. Then add a different color. Add a light color. And even go lighter if you have to. And then see what that looks like, and then go have a different color. Add a darker color. Don't forget darker. And then we can see what it looks like, right? It's trial and error. There it is. It looks like, not like a blob, right? And the same thing. Use the same the colors as you've got, and then just work it, add texture, different. Let's see where we go. better, isn't it? So now on this side, it looks like we may need a different color just to brighten it. Random, nothing different, just random. And then look at it and then see, well, what else can we do on this side? Right, giving it depth there, isn't it? Just give it a little bit of depth, and I can see here that I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that can't be right, you know, it's too plain. So again, colors, pick the colors that you want, just randomly disperse it, give the illusion of things going on down there, right? Use the same. Okay. Then if you want, just pick another color. Got that green. Maybe you want a little lighter green. Then just keep working on this. See that? Gives that green, that another adjacent color to that green, gives the impression of depth. All right. So now we have here, and I can keep going at it here. All right. So I'm staying focused on my side. Okay, I want to do that color actually. So not too harsh. Focused on my side. When I say my side, I mean the I'm just saying towards my canvas. We have some dark here, maybe. So dark and the white. If you notice, dark and white is some artists play with that a lot, and then that creates a sense of, because that creates a sense of depth. Like here, I could pick another color. Look, just add a little bit there. That's it. That's all you need. And then here, what have we got here? We've got lots of twigs, but again, just mix it up. Don't make it, and then pick the same color of the green and just immerse it like it is part of the design. Yeah. Let's see what it looks like. Better, isn't it? An improvement. Look how far we've come from that. And then your eyes keep darting all over the place. So let me just add a little bit of my own texture. And here, right. That's a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing, but you know, just to give a little bit of texture. Look at that. It's almost like encapsulating this path, right? This is how you experiment. Now, what are we going to do? Well, I think it's looking good, isn't it, so far? And I think on the right, I'm not too happy with on this side. I think we need to do a bit more. Right? I think I want to add a little bit of foliage, right? Right, to sort of get the eyes away from here. Even though we know that that's an important, crucial part of the drawing. So let's pick a darker color here. And let's see what we have here. Oops, here. Let's see what we, yes. So that we've covered up. And now we can see here, what do we need to do here? Well, not a lot. I mean, we've got the yellow. Maybe take it down a little like this. Why not? Yeah. And then pick a brown color and just give it like a form, like a tree trunk maybe. That's part of it. So here we can, look how we're going to add depth here, right? I've got this color here, and now I'm going to tune it up with a bit more on the gray side. And look, I'm going to add this. It gives the illusion that there is something going on in the back, yeah? Look there, see? Just a little touch. So now where are we? Well, we're practically done here, I think. And then, so here I can see some white. The white is what's bothering me here. So I'm going to tone it down a bit. And let's see what we've got. So we could leave it like this, or we could add some twigs. It's entirely up to you. And I think, you know what, I'm gonna call it a day here. Let's just take that, right, add a form of illusion of leaves coming down. And then to give that illusion, you can pick your color picker and lighten it if you want. Do you see lighten it? And then even lighten it a bit more. Right? Gives the illusion of depth, doesn't it? Let's see what we have here. Yes, it like gives it that illusion of tree line at the back. Then let's take that down, because that's probably a part of a tree. And then let's take that up there. Then take that down like it's part of that tree. And then take the green down here. And then add a bit of grey, I think, a brown, a tinge of grey there. That's a little master stroke. Okay, so guess what we have here. And then here, I think it looks like a blobule, right, isn't it? So we want to try and fix that. Get the red again. Let's make that red leaves work for us. Then here as well. Then we could say this is part of a tree, right? And it's just going that way, perhaps. Right? And then have the brown stretch here, and then take a different lighter color. You can see that how it changes. And use it very sparingly if it's too light. And then add a little bit of dark. That's too dark, so I'm going to try and lighten it here. Let's see what happens here. Better, isn't it? And then we know there's a lot of stuff going on at the back, so we can't ignore that. Right, the back, we don't want to leave it like empty, barren, because we know there's a lot of things going on behind the wood. Ooh, look at that. Look how that little color makes a difference. and then we can see how all these images, all the little things now come alive, and then you're saying, come on, come and paint me. You haven't done my bit here. And that's what happens as you do the process of drawing. Okay, and then here, let me add a little bit of that brownish, carry it in, take that bit of brown, take that, then maybe, because it's at the distance, I want to take it down to the more of a muted color. All right, let's take it to a muted light color. Illusion. Right, it's a muted color, so it would still work. Not showing the void, you know, just showing that there is something happening at the back. It's not quite. Let's take that down. And take this color. So there. All right, let's see what happens there. Better, isn't it? A little bit better. And then maybe we should add a little bit of darker color here. I think a little bit darker. That's a bit too dark, but I do want that hue, but not that dark, so I'm going to play with that here a little bit. It's not quite. All right, doesn't it? Looking very nice. And then here, what we could do is add a bit of that. We've got that darkness. Let's add another tone to it, a little darker, right? So we got the hardness now. We can increase it. Right, so add another dimensional color to it, right? Because you don't expect it to be completely light. Whatever that is, could be a balloon, I don't know. But okay, let's have a look. Now it's definitely looking better, and then we can diffuse it, diffuse that, because your eyes get focused on that. That's what art is about. Right. Well, see how far we've come here, and now we can maybe get that green and diffuse that green, either in two ways. Diffuse it that way, the shade, because it's far away. And let's increase the brush size, and then it just, right, it gives the illusion it's far, but there's texture behind it. Right. See that? If it was too distinct, that would not work. It would almost kill the whole image, right? And here, let's get that orange here, right? So far away. All right, so there it is. I think it's not too bad. definitely it's come alive, isn't it? I hope you've enjoyed this. I mean, you can carry on and on this patch here, right? You might think, well, that looks a little weird, isn't it? Just a brown patch there. Okay, let's tidy it up. Who cares, right? Just go for it. Do whatever pleases you. Right on. So this one, you see there's a distinct blue. Sorry about this, but distinct blue there. Right? So we can say, well, we know that. We understand this at the base of any living forest or wood. It's darker, isn't it? The shrubs, the plant matter, the animals that roam in this. Right, so let's see what that looks like. Yes, gives it a little bit more depth, I think, and the sunlight's still coming from the right side, shimmering its way through. And then this is black here. I'll just take that down. Oops. Let's see what that's a little bit. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, so we came here from nowhere, right? And I think we pulled it off, isn't it? So I don't know what you think, but here's the other the reference image, and here's what we got. And this is the painterly way of doing things. So let me sign, and we'll call it a day, right? Let me see. I've got to get a whiter color from that paint. Yep. G. Paintology. There it is. You can hardly see it, but it's there. So there you are. Let's save it. Okay, just to recap, we've gone from a base color, then kept working at it, reducing the brush size, and then towards the end, based on my experience, I've used the density settings and then tried to put down a hue or saturated colors depending where you are on the picture, like on the lower foliage, like on the path, it's more prominent, so I'd keep a higher density settings for that. And then you can see how it diffuses beautifully to the background, just like the original. And then the trees are set back from this foreground tree, which is dark and bold, and this path setting there. So this is a painterly fashion. I mean, you showed that to anyone, they'll think you did it with traditional, but this was done with the Paintology drawing app that you can get for free from Google Play Store, and it has over 600 tutorials that you can learn to draw. So drawing is not all about tools, especially digital drawing. It's about creating works like this, like fine art, which is my passion really. So I hope to, please leave a comment and also subscribe, and hope to see you for another session again tomorrow. Thank you, and